Yeah, that really shows how you take an acoustic sample set and really uh, beef it up through synthesis and sound design. Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com. Today we're going to be checking out this drums and percussion bundle deal by Impact Soundworks. New VST Buzz deal going on. This one I'm really excited about. This is 71% off the drums and percussion bundle by Impact Soundworks. This is a current deal at VST Buzz right now. Normally this bundle of 6 different Contact libraries with WAV files would normally sells for 342 euros. You can grab it now for 99 euros just for the next week or so. I'll include a link to take you straight over to the deal page right in the first link of the description below. Now, in this video, I'm just going to try to do a little summary of each of the instruments while I pull them up, play through some of the patches, share what the libraries sound like right out of the box. I'll, of course, include a link to take you straight over to the deal page where you can hear all of the instruments' official demos they've got through here, as well as all of the details they've listed on the page. That'll be the first link in the description below. And please use Sample Library Review links. This is VST Buzz is one of our partners. So if you purchase through our links at no cost to you, we get a small commission that helps me to keep the website going and pay our contributors. Now, this bundle deal includes 6 different instruments. We're going to go through them briefly, share what they're about, and then I'm going to play through some of the samples, get a little first look through all of them here. First up, we got Meditation. This is their hybrid mallet design library. Now, and this is a sample set of acoustic mallets, gongs, glass sounds combined with their new Contact bass additive synthesis. Also included in the bundle here is Momentum. This is a percussive sound design library for Contact. With over 2,500 rhythmic, percussive performances. You get a really interesting blend of instruments that have been sampled for this with real organic sound, including mistreated bass drums, hand percussion, hammered guitars, slap cellos, found metal objects, and I could go on and on here. Effects. There's over 100 different instruments and kits sampled for this Momentum library in total. Show drum is also included. This is samples of a handcrafted tempered steel tank drum. And boy, do I love the sound of this library. Just in a way. You've got a sample set performed with a huge variety of articulations and mallets. And for me, there's just something about this library, listening to playback. It's so versatile because it just feels like it's so unique. This one's really cool. It's classic old school drum kits recorded with analog gear through tape and vintage microphones. The goal of Groove Bias here was to create a set of deeply sampled acoustic drums inspired by the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I've got some of the verb in the effects on. Turn it off, get it dry. And just like the other version, we can change our version of the instruments. Got 3 drums from the Forest Frame Drum Collection. This library was designed as a highly expressive percussion library containing metal hits and found percussion samples. For this one, they went the extra mile, sampling at a level of detail that's normally reserved for acoustic drum kits, with rolls, taps, clicks, subs, and textures. All right, we've got momentum up here, and as you can see, it's got 2 different instruments: a loop mapper and the main momentum NKI, as well as a collection of one-shot instruments. Let's just start jumping in. This is looks like we've got a number of presets, and we could just play those. Flip through a few. Get a feel for it. Okay, these are all tempo synced to my DAW. I'm at 120. And here we've got some slice controls, as you can see, and you can hear some effects going on. We got these LFOs controlled. That's what gives it this that wackiness. These are very organic. That was one of the things it mentioned in the materials, that these were organic sounding performances with all kinds of manipulated objects used as percussion. Okay, you can see this is supposed to be at 80 BPM right now. I am at, oh goodness, 120. And we could see that we're playing back the slices, tempo synced. And we've also got some manipulation keys down here. So we've got a random key there, that D, a D flat 0. We also have like a loop for D. That looks like a 30-second note stutter. Oh, that's fantastic. And then some kind of gate. Chopped gate. Even more chopped. And that C there plays the samples backwards. So we start to get a feel for what this library's capabilities are. Let's just listen to some more of these. There's like 2,500 different organic acoustic performances here. Yeah. Here you can hear we've got all kinds of EQ, compression, this delay. Taking that delay off completely changes the sound of this one. So let's strip it back and let's listen to it without any of the effects. So this one's in 7/8, which is pretty cool. And as we get into the loop mapper next, we're going to be able to see how we can load up multiple loops into one instrument. So this will give us, this is the browser area here. We got 4/4, 3/4, 6/4, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. And basically, let's say we need a high at 6/4 high. We can load it like that. And then we got this purple key that keeps showing up like this. That's a one shot. And I think the one shots are all right here. We'll go to those after we just skim through a few more of these to get a feel for it. Super crazy at that high speed. Now we hear some panning, and when I click on the slice controls, you can see the pan is hard left and right. And we can hear it there. So I wonder if there's any, here's a little bit of cut. We could maybe hear that. The modulation, which is linked to the modulation mixer, isn't connected. There's nothing turned on. So we get these high. We're doing a pitch adjustments on these slices. So this is kind of cool if we wanted to change this to give it a different feel. Do something like this. Check out some of these. I'm going to jump over to 135 tempo so we can listen to some of these faster. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Let's So you can see by manipulating our pitch as well as our cut, we're really changing the way these react. And we've got these purple keys, which are the one hits again. You can hear our green key here. We've got a little over an octave, so we can actually retune the performance. Looks like that C-1 is a center. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I like the ability to just kind of jump in and get loop manipulated and do some adjustments on the fly. All right, we're just scratching the surface of this one. I want to move on so that we can check out the other Momentum NKI, which is our loop mapper. Now, the way this one is set up, if I'm not mistaken, we've got our first loop loaded up here at C1. And I need to get over to the right here channel. Right. So as the loop mapper, we're able to load multiple instruments. So I can click on my C sharp, and I can load up one of these guys. And then I can create my own kit, basically. I'm just going to randomly load some here. Double click. Thank you for allowing me to double click. All right. Oh, double click. There we go. To jump back. Big fan of double clicking to jump back myself. So now we've got a nice selection of randomly chosen loops here from our 2,500 different loops in the library. The only thing I did want to check out while we're on Momentum are the one-shots. And you can see there's a nice collection of these, and these are probably really the icing on the cake for me as far as, you know, just jumping in and playing with the library. Just having some multi-sampled instruments across the keyboard, whether they're chromatic or kits, which we listen to. Let's see. This is another kit. Nope, that's multi. You could see because it's blue across the keyboard, that designates it as a chromatic. Now, the only thing I do here is we've probably only got maybe 2 or 3 layers of velocity sensitivity, or perhaps it's a filter velocity sensitivity filter to give us the impression of dynamic layering. It's not a deep sampled instrument for these. All right. Let's move along, shall we? Let's check out the show drum. This is probably one of my favorite instruments in the bundle. If you hadn't checked it out before, it's a tank drum sample set. Just a really lovely sample set. We've got a few different articulations. I think the thing I really like about this instrument is it's almost like a secret weapon in a way. So, for instance, you could use this in some score, and it, if you get in here, we add some verb. Let's get one of these halls going. Get a little delay. Got a whole nother world of sound. That doesn't necessarily say, hey, I'm a tank drum. It's just my opinion, of course. If you disagree or think differently or have a better way to express what I'm trying to say, please comment below. This is kind of cool. I got the ARP on. Here we go. So it's got an arpeggio, an effects, and tuning. So if you wanted to map this to, some different world tuning presets, we could. Again, I don't think I'm showing this one justice because the ability to have a tank drum with some effects, get in and really program it, gives you a whole nother world of sound, in my experience. It doesn't say, hey, I'm a tank drum. It sounds like score. We got the second NKI here in the show drum. This is the design. So this is all sound design. So let's just take a listen. And I need to change over my channel. Listen to a few of these. I love taking acoustic instruments and having talented sound designers turn them into cinematic sound design instruments. And if you didn't see, I didn't see this bottom section is key switches. So this is a sound design set. And then the key switch changes up Yeah, I like it. Very nice. Let's move along to our groove bias. So for this guy, I went ahead and created a little drum loops just so we could kind of take a listen to it. Here we go. Got the first of a couple that we're going to preview here in the instruments. This one's the Herodotus kit, which I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, or maybe I just don't know what the vintage drum sounds of 50s, 60s, and 70s Herodotus means. I should have looked that up before I started the video. Just got a little loop so we can hear the kit itself. Now, this was recorded through a vintage signal chain to tape with retro high-end analog gear so we could get the... We get that sound. And what I really like about this is I think that anytime I need something... I need a beat, but I need it to sound like it's a sample, and that happens quite a bit. I don't like to use loops, so I'll create something like this. And utilize a isotope vinyl plugin. If you don't have that, I'll try to remember to include a link. There's a free download at Plugin Boutique if you want to grab that. So looking at Groove Bias, it's a collection of drum kits. You got 3 drum kits. You've got components, and then you've got full kits, and then you have a processed kits. Processed drums, I should say. So, for instance, we can click on our kick here, and we could go to a couple different kicks and get a very different sound just by playing around with our loaded instruments. And you can hear from that, I just changed our kick, our snare, our hi-hat samples, and was able to get another sound. You can see we got page 1 and page 2 for all the instruments, all kinds of some triangle. Bongos, congos, agogos, cowbells, bongos, tambourines, as well as some of the components here. And I think I'm going to just pull this one up as an example. Let's see, is this it? No, it's in full kits here. Got some very simple contact instruments, but the reason I like this is because we got a nice collection of percussion. And you can see we've got different ones through. We got ones with round robins and half round robins. I think those might reduce your... I think this is an older library, so maybe they did that way to reduce the footprint for loading it up. Let's go ahead and check this one out as well. This here is the tape kit. And playing back a little loop I came up with. We can hear the tape kit here. I've got some of the verb in the effects on. Turn it off, get it dry. And just like the other version, we can change our version of the instruments. Just a couple little bars of programmed drums to just kind of show, what some of the different samples sound like, loading them up. Again, this is the same kind of deal. I would pull in something like this, create my own drum loop, and then add some kind of vinyl or tape saturation just to give it make it sound like a sample so I could use it for as my own loop, give it a little fun vintage quality. So you get the idea there. Let's move along. Enjoying the bundle thus far. I hope you are as well. Thanks for checking out the video with me. Checking out the instruments with me, I should say. Here we go. Meditation. Now this is a 1 NKI instrument. And it's built with snapshots. If you do pick up the library, there's a link right below. There is some instructions on how to load up these snapshots. So we've got bell presets right here. And listen to some more of these presets. And I think I mentioned that this library uses some wacky additive synthesis. You can see it's doing a fade between state 1 and state 2, which you'll be able to get in there and control with the volume here, as well as pan controls. Listen to a couple of the keys. Again, big fan of taking acoustic instruments and turning them into synth sound designed instruments myself. Anytime I might think, ooh, I could use a little synth line, I might go for a rubber band because this is kind of cool sound. They're again using that mod matrix, which I did not read up on, but I'll include a link to the official pages. That's a wacky one. see it's using there's some pan automation built into that one too. Yeah, that really shows how you take an acoustic sample set and really beef it up through synthesis and sound design. Now, this is probably, I think we're just starting to scratch the surface of the library, but I'm starting to really dig the sound of this, the way that it reacts, and some of the way the presets are set up. Hear that 8-bit or low bit kind of come in. Here it is, bit depth is morphing. That's kind of cool. It's got a really neat sound, like after the fact. Yeah. All right, let's move along. We got just a couple more to go on our Impact Soundworks adventure. Got 3 drums from the Forest Frame Drum Collection. This is the deep drum. And you can see we got all kinds of controls, stereo controls. And I think this one probably could use just a little bit of verb, give it a little more depth. Get some other controls for limiter and saturation. Some rolls, smacks. Get a nice range there. That was one of the things that it said in the material about the dynamic range. Let's go ahead and check out the other one with a Forest Drum Library. And here we go. Yeah, I'm already wanting to play with this one. Let's give it just a little bit more verb. Yeah, it's a nice sound. Very specialized drum kind of sound for sure. Great for ethnic stuff, great for scoring, I would say. And our small drum only has 2 keys. Ensemble. That's what that spread was for. Really loosen it up. Okay, I'm getting that now. That's the Forest Frame Drum Collection there. And I think last but least, all we've got left here is to check out the Impact Steel Library. And this is V2. So I got the current version up. As you can see, it's a collection of NKIs with different samples loaded up. And let's just listen to them. This was the Clang Ensemble. So this so far is probably, I would say, besides the frame drums. Ooh, that's a nice hit. This is by far the most percussive, whereas the others I felt were very tuned. I was actually really surprised by. A lot of velocity sensitivity to these as well. Some horror hits. Yeah, nice texture there. Nice sweep. You know, I was just saying that this one was more impactful percussive, and now we're getting these textures and maybe not as playable as multi-temporal tonal instruments, but definitely some nice sound design in these. Just going to flip through a few of these. If you got your subs on, you're feeling these, aren't you? That is my favorite metal spring instrument ever. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up right there. Really enjoyed checking out this bundle here. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear what you think about this library collection here. Impact Soundworks. It's, like I mentioned, on a big sale here for the next few days. I'm going to try to get this video edited and recorded and out ASAP, so you got more time to look it over, play with it. Normally sells for 342 euros if you purchase them all separately, 99 euros if you grab them now, with the link in the description below. Take you straight over to this page where you can learn all about each of the instruments if you want to do even deeper dive. Anyway, that's it. I'm done for the day. Thanks for checking that video. Please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear what you think about these. Or is this something you're going to be picking up? Were you surprised by the versatility and the range of libraries like I was? Love to hear your thoughts below. Comment. And yeah, like, share, subscribe. Love your support. Be sure to head over to samplelibraryreview.com for the latest news, reviews, and our weekly deals page.